Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.
Uh,
What was that?
I said you can have a seat.
Okay.
Um, well, I'm Obidala.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm going to talk, today I'm interviewing you for educational subject. It's about how sport in the school affect energy.
Okay, okay.
Uh, Stress and friendship also, they will be affected somehow. We're gonna find out through this interview. This interview is we're gonna take around 7 minutes. Um, you can pause or stop at any time. You can ask to withdraw at any time.
Mm-hmm.
This interview will not be used for any purpose besides the educational subject. And if it's gonna be posted, we're gonna have to get your consent for that.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So, what positive change have you noticed in your energy, fitness, or strengths since you are started playing sport at school?
Well, since I joined my track team, I feel my energy has gone up because I've been actually, because that's tied with my fitness, because I feel like I've become more fit, we've been lifting, and so I've been getting stronger, and I feel like that's contributed positively to my energy because, I've been, when I wasn't doing those things, I felt a lot more tired, a lot weaker, I didn't have the same motivation, there wasn't as much structure because it's like an everyday thing.
Oh, very good. Can you tell me about typical school day when you notice that energy?
Well, typically when I have that energy, when I'm feeling really good, it's like I'll wake up and I'll be able to get out of, because sometimes you know how like when you're in bed and you're really comfortable, you don't want to get up. I can get up right away, shower, brush my teeth, eat, do all that. Just do things efficiently. At school, I'm a lot more focused, on what the teacher's saying, and I'm able to, understand the material better. I feel more talkative. I feel more energetic. There's a more positive vibe around the room, and
Okay, so that's in the school. How does the energy show up in B class or in recess?
well, in my basketball gym, I'll be a lot more talkative on the court. I'll tell people where to go. Like, go here. Oh, I got help or something like that. I'll hustle for rebounds. I'll be more aggressive off the dribble, stuff like that. I'll try to impact and really help my team get a victory.
Oh, good. And what happened right before that moment, or what did you do next?
Well, right before the moment where I started, when I get the energy, it's kind of just like it feels better, but like the energy kind of is just like it's not exactly adrenaline, but it's just something that like hits. You could like really feel the energy. So you can kind of tell when it's like gonna be like really ramped up. It just takes a little bit to ramp up. Right after, I usually get all my homework done either in school or right after school. You know, I can go to practice. Feel energetic. Do all the drills, that kind of stuff. Or even if I have work, at work I'm more communicative. I'm more positive with the customers. I mean, I'm always positive with the customers, but I'm more like willing to take initiative. I do my work faster, stuff like that.
So do you mean at your work? You're referring to a customer, is that at your work?
Yeah, at my work. At my work.
Oh, perfect. So, if you have to pick up one moment when you realize the change, what stands out?
I feel like the change started. It was, I think it was, I guess like after the first 2 weeks, and I was under the bench press, and like I was trying to do a weight that normally, like a couple weeks ago, I couldn't do at all. And then I actually got it, and that's when it really gave me that boost because I'm like, my work has been for something. Because like the first few weeks, it was like, what am I working for? Like how am I able to like when will I see growth and progression, in myself?
Oh, perfect. So, how does sport influence how you handle stress, focus in class, or feel about yourself?
I feel like it's affected all three of those, you know. First of all, I genuinely feel more focused in class, mostly because number one, you know, I have an outlet to put my energy outside of, you know, video games or TV or food and hanging out. You know, I have another outlet to like really just like calm my mind down and really get me locked in. Um, what was the first one?
We talk, your self-esteem, your stress.
Oh yeah, stress. It's maybe honestly feel less stressed, you know, because I know it allows me to like really like let's say I have a lot of work to do. Yeah, it might sound counterintuitive because I have less time to do it at home, but it allows me to really sit down and just ignore that. Not ignore it, but like put it in my mind and think of a strategy. Like I have a ton of time to think. Okay, when I get home, I can do. I'll shower, do this, do that. It allows me to create a routine in my head.
Hmm.
And for my self esteem, it's really made me feel better about myself. You know, I've never really I've been really good in school, but you know it felt like I might have been lacking behind a little bit physically, and now it feels like the gap's made up. Like now I feel like I'm above average physically compared to some of my peers, or at least the people who don't do any exercise. So I feel like it's really helped my self esteem.
You feel like you're getting there.
Yeah, I feel like I'm improving.
Perfect. So, can you describe a moment in a class or during the test when that felt clear?
What felt clear?
You know, your energy of that you're getting from practicing.
Yeah, there was a math test. I was like after, what's it called? It was after a really hard practice. You know, I went home, went to sleep, woke up. And it was a math test, and I honestly forgot to study. I understood the material perfectly. Like not perfectly. I understood the material. I just didn't have to take the time to study. So, I get to school at 8:20, which is when I have to get to school because I don't have a first period. So I only had one period to really get myself prepared. And I was like kind of freaking out. I'm just looking over my nose, like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? You know, I messed up, right? But then, you know, during the test, it was like halfway through, I was like, you know, not really doing much, and then it felt just like everything just like clicked like that. And I understood like everything I like learned. Cause I was doing the homework, I was doing the stuff. I just hadn't taken the time to really do extra studying the night before, and it was kind of just like I was in the zone, and I ended up getting an A on that test. So I feel like that's the moment where it really became clear to me.
Oh, perfect. So, how has sports participation changed your mood after practice or through days?
It allows me to really like, because when you're physically exerting yourself or physically pushing yourself to in that way, it allows you to like calm your emotions and really just be less volatile as a person. You know, you can feel, you know, you feel like you like more relaxed, more like compressed in regular life because your body's still recovering. You know, so it allows your mind to kind of just sit and just like really think about your day, think about what you want to do, think about what you want to change, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, great. So, you tell me more about the thoughts process in you had in that moment.
During the test,
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of just like it was like it started with one question. It was like, because usually when I do a test, I start with the hard questions first and then the easy ones after. But then it was like, you know what, I'm gonna just do the easy ones first, get these easy points, and then just figure out the rest from there. And it started to kind of just build in my mind. It was like a snowball. Just my understanding kept growing and growing and growing, and that led to me finally grasping the concept that I wasn't really understanding at that point.
So you think that the sports help you to change strategies or having better understanding to the strategy that you use?
Yes, because number one, you have less time just naturally. Because there'll be some days where I have to go to practice and then go straight to work, or even if I don't go to work, I can have a long practice. I get home at 6. By the time I've really like, you know, showered, cleaned myself, you know, changed clothes, laid down, ate some food, it's already 6:30, 7 o'clock. So that gives me less time naturally. So it causes you to be more efficient with your time. It causes you to have to understand what to do with your time. You know, you can't play Xbox or whatever till like 1 a.m. and expect to be successful. You know, so it allows you to break a lot of bad habits that you had before.
Oh, that's great. So, do you feel more confident in front of peers or teachers?
Yeah, I feel more confident. I feel as though like I'm doing something because like there's not a lot of people that can even do a single track workout just like off to wake up, no like what's it called? No prior training, nothing. So I feel like because like I'm doing stuff that like not a lot of people in my school are doing, you know. So I feel as though it kind of gives me like a sense of like improvement, something to be proud of, you know.
So it gives you a feel of getting advanced.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Can you give me any examples of that?
Because like there's a lot like even during like because during track I'm on the varsity team, but I have less experience than most people. So it might be like, dang, these guys are a lot faster, a lot bigger than me, right? But I go against like people that don't do that stuff, and I'm like faster than them, I'm stronger than some of them, stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, it might not feel like compared to the circle I'm in that I'm like really that guy, but it allows me to feel a lot more confident around like my peers that I'm around the whole school day, you know?
So yeah, at least you'll be in the middle.
Yeah, like I'm solid.
You're not so behind. And
Yeah.
You're trying to improve to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Is it fair to say that?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. So, how has sport affected your motivation to study or attend the school?
Yeah, I actually want to attend school more now that I got sports because before it's like, yeah, I always have had good attendance, but it's like I didn't really what's it called? There wasn't really. I mean, I don't know what the word is to describe it because I've always went to school. Like there wasn't really like I just went there because I had to be there. You know, I wasn't like because other people, they're in like clubs and stuff and they're super passionate. Just wasn't me. But now like I want to go to school like every day because I want to be with my teammates, my coaches, because we really create a very strong bond.
So the sports help you to break the routine of just going to attend your classes and put you in advance or more progress.
Exactly.
Okay. So, what role do your teammates and coaches play in your experience?
My teammates and coaches, I feel like, because you gotta think about it like this: you could be in a group, you can do something that's really good, but if you're in a bad environment, you're not gonna want to go there. Like for example, work. If you're working a job, sure it can be a good job, good hours, good pay, good benefits, but if you like hate your coworkers or you hate your boss, you're not gonna want to work there. It's gonna be a miserable experience. Mm-hmm. So I feel like teammates and coaches overall have a massive impact on, performance, your willingness to go, if you want to even stay on the team. And I've been very grateful that my coaches have been with me all the step of the way, even when I mess up or I like lag behind a little bit. They've been there to like support me. And same with my teammates. They understand that like they might have been doing this for 2, 3, 4 years. I've only done this for 1, but they still like push me to be better and to be the best I can in my limited amount of time.
Well, it's good. So, do you think about any moment stand out at the turning point? Where you were like in a low level of energy, and then your team and coaches help you to get that momentum?
Yeah, I remember we were deadlifting, and like it was like a plate, and like it was like 135 plus what's it called? A 25, so that's like 185. And keep in mind, I'm only like 125 pounds, so I was like, I can't do this. Like this is way too big. But then like my coach, my teammates, they were around me and they were like, nah, you can do it, you got it. And they genuinely believed in me. So I was able to actually pick it up and like rep it out, So it really showed me that I could achieve more than I thought I could based on their support. Because if they didn't tell me that I could do it or didn't have like genuine faith in me, then I probably wouldn't have been able to do it. I wouldn't have tried, you know.
Interesting. So, can you share a time you felt supported by, teammates or a coach? A time that maybe that's repeat the same question, but this
Yeah.
time I'm talking about in a way that they help you to feel more confident, not only on this sports setup, but the whole school setup.
Yeah. You know, I feel as though they like a lot of times like my teammates. You know, I'm cool with all my teammates. You know, I've gone food with them. I've hung out with them a couple times. You know, it's like they like what's it called? Despite the fact that they've known each other for longer, you know, they still like included me in the group chat. Like they still like made me feel like welcome. You know, so I feel like that's like a major part of like the shift. And also also my coaches. You know, when I first joined, you know, it was during Ramadan, so I couldn't eat, and my coach was like, and I remember we ran the mile, and I was like dying. I didn't think I did good in the mile because I was just tired. He was like, and everyone was tired because of the mile. And then my coach was pointing me out, and it was like, Ali hasn't eaten in 12 hours or 14 hours, and he still ran the mile. Like,
Wow.
you know, so he really like I think that really inspired a lot of confidence in me because you know I was recognized for like the effort I was putting in.
Yeah, because I remember in Ramadan I have some concern that you're still going for your sports where you're fasting, but you are insisting on doing that. Do you think sports help you during Ramadan?
I mean, it depends because obviously during my practices, you know, I wouldn't push myself like 100%. I'd probably go like 70, 80, 90%. So you have to, if you're smart about it and you choose to like put limits on yourself and make sure you're not like overexerting yourself, then yeah, I think it could be a positive experience because it allows your body to have like a new baseline, you know? It allows your body to understand like, so if you improve while you're fasting, when you stop fasting, you can eat like on a regular schedule again. Your improvement is going to be much bigger and much more consistent. So
That's wonderful. So, describe a moment when your teamwork helped you overcome a challenge during a game or practice. I know you mentioned the example when you saw that you can lift that heavy load and you did it because they said you could do it. Can you come up with another example?
another example of what was the question?
That your teammates or coaches help you or motivate you to overcome a challenge that you're facing. It doesn't matter if it's in a sport or in somewhere else.
Yeah, I remember the opening days. And it was like I remember we did a workout, and I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't do good in the workout. You know, I was like, because it was my opening days, I wasn't used to it. You know, I was nervous, that kind of stuff, and I was like, kind of like, dang, you know. I was like, this is for me. Should I just quit now and just like save myself the trouble? But then my teammate Evan, he went up to me and he was like, hey, you know, you're just starting out. It's been like only like a week. You know, you gotta keep going. Like if you quit now, you're never gonna get better. So I think that like kind of just made my mentality like, dang, like I just gotta see this through. You know, I didn't just join and buy the shoes and like do all this for no reason. You know.
Nice. So Ali, have you built a friendship through sports as that extend beyond the field?
Yes. I feel like I've built a friendship with, especially with the upperclassmen, you know, the juniors and seniors. I've built like even some of the sophomores I'm cool with. But I've become like friends with pretty much everyone on the team. You know, everyone on the team knows who I am. You know, I'll talk to them. They'll talk to me. You know, they'll hop on the game with me. That kind of stuff.
That's good. Have any examples on mind? It's just
And
like your friendship network expanded during the sport practice or
yeah, because I've known people on the track team Like, I knew Jared for years, Donovan, Deshaun, Arturo. I knew them for years. But like people, like even Evan, like I knew him in freshman year, but I hadn't really talked to him like that until for a couple years because we just were in different classes and stuff. But yeah, now I've become closer with him. I've become closer to some of the juniors. You know.
Okay. What about school culture? How does that shape your experience in sports?
I think I've had like a very positive. There's like a positive school culture in Schaumburg. I feel as though like, it allows me to like really, like I feel like free to be who I am. Like talk the way I talk. So I feel like a good school culture really goes a long way into allowing you to like show off the best version of yourself and eventually create friendships and relationships from there.
And academically, I know you are A student. How do you think that sports help you to maintain that level of being accelerated student, going to UIC, one of the biggest university. So, do you think sport somehow participated on making you achieving that goal?
I think it does because like it allows you to have like a different outlook. Cause like let's say I didn't do any sports, I go home, do my homework, and then just relax all day. Yeah, it's like it's physically taxing, but it causes like a lot of like it's very easy to get bored when you're just in that cycle. You're just like doing the same thing day after day after day. That can cause someone to become less focused, lose like passion, lose like a willingness to like. Because they'll be like, man, I can do this homework later. Oh, I can do this later. And then eventually could start grades to decline if they don't fix it, So I feel like having another outlet where it's like another thing to throw into your day, whether it be work, sports, clubs, hanging out, stuff like that. I think having an extra outlet really helps like shake up your day and allows you to kind of get out of like the same routine, Because like every practice is different for the most part. So
I know you're going to college now, and I know you don't yet familiar with what sports are available on the new setup. How are you planning to approach that?
I think most likely option is I might just start working out by myself. Might start just going to the gym 5-6 days a week or something like that, or maybe I could and maybe if I'm or if I don't want to go that many days, maybe I'll start like playing like pickup basketball on the weekends or stuff like that, But I don't think I'm really gonna be on a sports team next year, especially because the school I'm going to is a D1 school, which is like the top of the top, And I just don't feel like I really want to I don't think I really am at that ability level yet, to be quite honest,
Would you start doing a research of seeing what's available and see if there is something might fit you as a freshman?
Yeah, I'll see if there's stuff available. But like most likely, I might just maybe I'll take the first year to really get my body right, and then see like my sophomore, junior year if I can really go in and compete.
Well, Ali, that's wonderful. And thank you very much today for participating in this interview and for sharing your thoughts about the sports in school. And if you have anything to add, do you want to add anything for the overall experience?
No, I don't believe I have anything to add.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you being here.
All right.
Thank you. All right, Ali.